hoping I can remember how to do this. Welcome to episode 29, I want to say, of the Midnight Dyery podcast. No, Tales from Midnight Dyery. Can't even remember my own podcast name, so we're off to a flying start. It's been 3 weeks since I chatted to you last, and quite a lot's gone on since then. I've finished a few things, I have started a few things, and I've been going through my stash and thinking about what I can do. Actually, that's a barefaced lie. I was short on podcast content. I asked my friends and they said, why don't you pick 5 stash yarns that you don't know what to do with and ask people what they think you should do with them. So that's what I'm doing. And I've just lost the bag of yarn that I was going to bring down, so I'm very confused now. Anyway, last week I'm very aware it was very yarn dispensery heavy. Last time I'm aware it was very yarn dispensary heavy. I mean, the yarn dispensary is my day job. And obviously I've retired the diary side of the Midnight Dyery to focus on it, but it feels like I'm becoming completely absorbed into it. At the moment I'm not quite ready for that, so I'm going to try and pull things back a bit this week. I've also taken my whipboard upstairs. I've got no idea why I took my whipboard upstairs. So yeah, let's talk about all the things. Oh, by the way, I'm Gemma. If you're new here, I podcast infrequently, always with the best of intentions, never with the best of execution, talking about crafty things. I am a hand dyer of yarns. I'm going to say I am, even though I've retired the Midnight Dyery. I've still got the advents going. I've just finally got the Giddy Yarns advents, charity advents, sent off to Helen of Giddy Yarns. So I'm going to say I am a hand dyer, but I also run a yarn shop by day, which is separate to this. There is even a separate podcast, not that we've uploaded for like a year, so I need to do something about that. But I've been busy, what can I say? And I live in Kent, and I've been knitting for over 30 years, or no, pushing 31 years, which is a bit scary. Crocheting for a bit less than that. Yeah, used to be an English teacher, like reading, don't do enough of it. Have 2 cats, a dog, a husband and a son. Well, that's me, pretty much. Yeah, as I say, always with the best of intentions. Finished objects. Since last time, I have finished Baby Nova's blanket. No, the ends are not woven in. Don't at me. I will weave them in, but it's finished. It is done. So when I knew my friend Mina, who's you might know as the knitting expat, was expecting a little one, I wanted to make a blanket, and I'd made a rainbow blanket that I'd given, you might remember the second garter squish, that's the title of something else, sorry, garter rainbow stripe blanket that I made. I gave to Mina's little girl Layla, and so it only seemed right that Baby Nova, not that we knew that's what she was at the time, would receive her own rainbow blanket, but I wanted it to be different as well from Layla's. It's a unique little people. So I grabbed one night at Sit and Stitch, again yarn dispensary, sorry. I grabbed a load of balls of Bo Peep Luxury Baby DK, which is £3.95 a ball. It is 52% superwash merino and 48%, yes, that's maths, nylon. So it's machine washable, but it is super duper soft, and I love it. So I've gone for Tin Man, Fire Engine. Don't know why. I should have gone for Ladybird, I think, which is a softer red, and it would fit the palette. So you've got these really bold stripes of red. I think I went for it initially because Layla's favourite colour is like red, and I was channeling my inner Layla. So we've got Tin Man, Ladybird, and then Tin Man's dotted throughout. Pumpkin, Buttercup, Apple, Raindrop, Sparkle. Those are the colours I went for. And I did 2 rounds of the main colour and 2 rounds of the kind of rainbow colour and 1 round of the Tin Man. And I just finished it off with 1 round of double crochet or single if you're in the US, all the way around in Pumpkin. I felt that's all it needed. It didn't need a big heavy border, plus I really didn't want to buy any more balls of yarn. I think this took 3 balls of Tin Man, so that's £12, plus the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colours, 2 of each of those, so that's another 12 balls. It ended up quite pricey as a blanket. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's really economic yarn. It's great. It's worth it. But I didn't want to buy yet another ball of yarn for this blanket. So yeah, there it is. It's about that big. You can see how big that is. And the ends are not woven in, but I shall sit later on while editing this. Say later on, I've got no idea when I'm going to get to edit. It is Wednesday the 12th of October. And I shall weave them in. And then when I next see Mina, and we keep trying to meet up and not managing it, I shall give this to her because it is turning chilly and now baby Nova needs her blanket. Finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is over here. Excuse me. Okay, finished object number 2. I don't have sock blockers little enough for these. They're slightly bigger than the last little ones I made, but these are some teeny tiny baby socks for Robin. They match, if I can find it, I think I'm sitting on it, hang on. No, where's it gone? I don't find anything in this. Aha! They match my Winwick Mum wildflower sock that I did for my dad. I believe I showed you that finished object on the Crack Those Whips calorie last time, and my dad requested that any yarn not used became matching socks for Robin so they can match, although won't match for very long because obviously Robin is oh, that one is much smaller than that one. How have I managed that? Yeah, I might need to do this again. This might need to be refinished again because somehow this one's like 4 rows longer still. Don't know how I've managed that. So yeah, Robin basically I tried his socks on and they fit, and then I tried them on when I finished them and they no longer fit, and now this explains why one stays on, one doesn't. I thought I'd done the same number of rows, but clearly I haven't because that sock is a lot smaller than that sock. Anyway, they match his grandpa's socks. It's a basic vanilla recipe. It is my vanilla recipe that I use for adults, but I have obviously adjusted it somewhat to be for small people. And I've been asked, you know, what's the pattern? I'm going to put this up for free when I've done a few more pairs and sort of made sure I'm happy with the numbers. The reason being, if we move on to whips briefly, I think I've finished other things in the meantime. I don't know. It's been a quiet few weeks. Well, it's been a very busy few weeks. It's been a quiet making few weeks. This is my first Regia from Paytons and Regia. They've worked together, and it's like a little 25-gram ball of sock yarn. And the idea is obviously my first Regia, my first socks, baby socks, really cute. So this one I've cast on for Robin, and it is miles too big. I mean, the foot is only a little bit bigger than, actually about the same size as the piece on the other two, but the calves were a bit narrow for Robin, so I cast on some more, but actually I think these are way too big, so I need to figure out like the sizing, and also even though these are smaller, they do need a much deeper heel flap, so there's some adjustments I need to make before I offer it up as a pattern. So we have 2 faux and a hoe. I think that's it for things I've finished. With regards to things I've been working on, I've been a bit like, I've been flitting from one thing to the other. The Great Winter Cast On has kind of inspired me. Oh, I did finish my sock swatch, but I've lost it, so I can't show you that. I have been working on the Slipstravaganza. I brought it out of hibernation, as I said I would, and it's taken me 3 days of knitting, but I finished the second row of the main colour, which is the last lot of main colour I have to do before the bind off. I can't spread it out and show it to you because I got fed up with my interchangeables, which would not stay done up. It's nothing to do with the needles and everything to do with the fact that I couldn't find the key and couldn't be bothered to find the key or buy a new key, and so I kept having to re-twist it every few stitches, not even a few rows. So it's completely bunched up on here, so you cannot see it in all its gloriousness. But yeah, so I've got 1 chevron. If we look at it from one end, I've got 1 chevron to go. You can do 6 chevrons, but it's taking me so long to knit each row, and I do not have enough knitting time, and I want it off my needles and on my neck or around my neck. It's been a long time in the making this. The last time I was actually working on it before this week was when I was in hospital having Robin. Oh, excuse me. And it was really interesting talking to the midwives about what an MCAL is and why we do it. If you're not sure what a mystery knit-along is, there is a video where, I think last year, where I said, you know, what's all of us about MCALs, and I just popped it up. So I'll pop a box up there for you to go and have a look at that later if you like. It explains it all in there, what mystery knit-alongs are. So anyway, this is the Stephen West 2020 mystery knit-along. I didn't do the shawlography, and I keep swinging between being really glad I didn't and thinking, but it's so clever, because it is. What he's done, he said it's all about movement, and actually it is. If you stop looking at it as a static piece and imagine the various pieces moving in the directions that they, you know, look like they want to, it's a really dynamic shawl. It's amazing. I still don't think I'd do it, but I can really appreciate the artistry that's gone into it and the concept, which is really cool. This year's West Knits Knit-along I have resisted. So far. I was very, very tempted to start it, but then I saw my friend Catherine. She's one of the mods of the Fat Crafters Club, so give them a follow if you don't already. They're amazing. She's Madcap Kitty Glitter as well on Instagram. I was at a knit group with her and I saw her casting on, and I was like, what is that? She's like, oh, it's a cast on. It's an I-cord. It's a massive I-cord. It's like a bazillion rows of I-cord. And then you pick up along the I-cord and it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's like, are we doing this in reverse, this shawl? Is it because, I mean, I've got a massive I-cord to bind off with after I've done the last bit of my chevron. So it'll probably take me until next year. Because each row takes ages. So are we starting with the end, if that makes sense? It's called Twists and Turns. It's going to change. Oh, I don't know. Part of me wants to cast it on, and I have been sent by my friend Jude the perfect yarn for it. He is pure evil. Hang on, let me go and grab it and show you, because there's no point in me talking about this and not actually showing you. Okay, so for some ridiculous reason I'd taken the yarn upstairs. Let me just unpack it. So a few weeks ago, Jude said to me that he was having a clear out and he had some seconds, would I like them? I'm like, Pope, Catholic, Bear, Woods, half question. So he sent me a few seconds. Actually, he sent me a load. There's enough in there for me to do a lace and fade from Hohi Locatelli. I'll see if I can find a picture and put it up. So there's that. There's another bag of yarn looking at me. And then there's this. Now, ignore the fact the greys are two slightly different greys. How gorgeous is that as a palette? It's this deep inky purple with possibly red velvet, I think. It might be the other one he did. I can't remember the name of it. But and then the two greys, which are just gorgeous. And as I said, they are seconds. I don't quite know what's wrong with them. I can't see it myself, but he sent them to me. You probably know that poor Chubbington passed away. So I think I am a new cat bed, part of a cat bed. I'm a very happy cat to have these sent. I will not complain at all. I've kept them in the bag away from my cats though. So looking at that palette, I'm kind of tempted. So obviously they would be my main colours, and then the red would be the pop, and I just think the whole thing looks delicious. Not sure. What do I do? What do I do? Tell me in the comments below. Alrighty then, with regards to whips, you cast off a sock? Yeah, I cast on a sock. So I've cast on the second deconstructed peacock sock, not much to see, just down the rib. I'm doing a 2x2 rib for my dad. I favour 1x1 twisted rib for myself. And I've just about started the knitting in the round thing, so that will be good to work on while editing this if I've sewn all my ends in like a good girl. So that's it in the cake. There's a bright green coming up, which is just fab. So this is my second sock for Dad. Don't know if there'll be any left over for Robin from that one. Showing you my slip extravaganza. I went on a bit of a cast on kick, something to do with the Great Winter Cast On. So yeah, but actually before I show you what I've cast on, let's have a look at what you've been up to. Apparently not. I've abandoned this in the middle of a row and subsequently lost a load of stitches. Anyway, I've sat here and fixed it. This Bright Yellow Gorgeousness is a UK Hand Knitters Association pattern. I did write down the number. I'm not sure what I've done with the pattern itself because this is me. And it is Shetland Croft DK in the... can't remember the colourway. Anyway, it's machine washable, it's double knitting, it's lovely. And it's just a really, I basically screwed up. I caked the skein up at work to show a customer how a Swift and ball winder worked. And then had to buy the yarn myself because I'd caked it. I was like, now what do we do? Can't sell it. So I bought it, and with the intention of making a little jumper for my nephew who turned 1 2 days ago. And I cast it on and I obviously have missed his birthday, so maybe it'll be Christmas. I got him a different birthday present, so maybe I can finish this for him for Christmas. It's really simple. It's worked in pieces, which is not my favourite construction, but hey ho. It's from the UK Hand Association, and it is just stripes of alternating stocking stitch, if that makes sense. And the result, sorry, I'm just trying to get to the end of this row before I screw it up. The result is this like bouncy, almost like constant, I suppose it's like rib, but the other way, isn't it? And I really like it. I really like the effect. The one I'm going to do has a little shawl collar, and I think shawl collars are so cute on small people, especially in winter when we need to keep warm. So yeah, so that's one of my Great Winter cast-ons. Hang on, get to the end. Robin's little sock that you saw, the UK Hand, the My First Regia sock, is a Great Winter cast on, although that's now a Great Winter hoe, which is cool. Yeah. What else have I got on the needles? I started some leggings for Robin out of the Bo Peep Pure book. It's called the William leggings. There's a jumper that goes with them. But I ground to a halt because I needed 4mm tips, and all my 4mm tips were in use in other projects. So I bought some more 4mm tips and I can't find them. So I've done the cuff. I went great guns on the cuff, got that finished in an evening. Was really excited to start the legs because it is the sort of weather now where Little Bear does need some knitted leggings in the shop. I've just ground to a halt. So anyway, there we are. There you can see the back. I'm doing the 2 to 3 years, I think. It just looks ginormous, or 1 to 2 years, I'm not sure. Either way, it looks ginormous. I can never quite get used to the scale of small people. I think that is actually a thing, a scale of small people. I just can't get used to it. Next on my needles is going to be this, My First Regia. So it's Baby Smiles, which is I think a link with Peyton's, and it's yeah. Is there a name to this one? Colour 01819. It's this nice blue green number. So that will be Robin's next sock once I freed up some sock needles. Okay, what else do I have going on? Because there is more. Yeah, I was talking about the William leggings, wasn't I? So I've got, oh no, this is something completely different. So I started to cast this on. I need to finish this cast on and the neckline pronto. Is this one by one rib? Yeah, again, partway through a row. I started to cast this on when I was at A&E with Robin, he took a little tumble, and so I took him to get checked out. And on Saturday, and I miscounted. It was ridiculously early in the morning anyway. I say ridiculously early. We're at A&E by 7:30 in the morning, which is quite early to be out and about. It's not early to be up when you have a small person. And what I'm doing is I'm doing the flax light, or taking the numbers from the flax light, but I am actually intending to make a colourwork sweater for him. I'm going to be using the rest of the birthday skein of yarn. So I've got this, which is Poppy Seed from West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply, the solids range. And then I've got the rest of the birthday yarn for the yarn dispensary, and that's living in the yarn dispensary bag. And I'm going to be turning it into a colourwork sweater for Robin, because just because it's a socks yarn, the self-striping sock yarn, doesn't mean it has to be socks. And these do not want to be socks. These want to grow up to be a jumper. So as I say, I've taken one stripe repeat from the ball of yarn, the ball of birthday yarn, to do a sample for the shop. And now I've just got to, I am not going to get into this row anytime soon. Now I've just got to get this neckband done. Once the neckbands, I think I'm going to do the neckband in all grey, I'm not sure. Once that's finished, I'm going to work on the bigger needles, which frees up these sock needles to cast on Robin's second sock. It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's utterly ridiculous. I always seem to have two socks on the go now. I always used to have one, and now I seem to have two on the go. I don't know why I'm pushing this, because I'm making you watch me knit, and it's not the most exciting thing in the world to do. Oh, do you know what is exciting though? I taught a beginner's crochet course. For goodness sake, here we go again, shop. But I taught a beginner's crochet course at the weekend, and it occurred to me as I was teaching the crochet and looking at the way I was tensioning the yarn over my index finger on my left hand, that the way in which I crochet is similar to the continental style of knitting. So I thought, well, why can't I knit continentally then? Surely, in theory, I can. And so I started giving it a go. I can't think what I was working on, but I think it was my slip stravaganza I was giving it a go, which might explain why some of the stitches felt twisted. I'll have to look at how I'm doing it. But yeah, so, oh, calm down, Magnus. He's upset because there's no room for him on the sofa, because the sofa is covered in yarn. Hey ho. So yeah, I'm going to give it a go. I don't know what I'm going to cast on to do that with, but I'm going to practice and start seeing if I can knit continental, because I think I'll be able to knit a lot faster continental than I can English throwing. And I've never sort of bothered with it before, because I'm really impatient, and the time it would take to learn continental and get good at continental would slow down my initial knitting, if that makes any sense. So yeah, Archie Mills. Thank you, Magnus. Archie's scratching the sofa. Magnus is telling him to stop. Right, so there we are. There's the cast on done. So that's in that project bag. The William, I'm not sure where the William's gone. The William leggings. I need to find those, because obviously that's something I need to work on. Let's see. They're all starting to be in project bags. They've all got their own. Ah, here they are, look. So there's the cuff of the legging and the point where I suppose you fold it over. And I think I finished the cuff. Magnus, you caught in the yarn. Come here. Magnus, come here. Come here. Magnus, come here. Thank you. Stupid. You a silly doggy. Yes, you are. You silly doggy. Right. Yeah, so there's the cuff. It's Bo Peep DK in Teddy Bear, which I believe is discontinued colour, which makes me so sad. But yeah, I don't have a copy of the pattern, because I'm afraid I was just naughty and took it from the shop. But it's going to double up as a shop sample, so it's fine. So that's in that bag. So we have projects in actual project bags. Who am I? I swear I'm becoming the most organised person. The Slipstravaganza, incidentally, is living in, I mean, it's fallen out at the moment, but it's living in my little grey girl bag that had the Morton Street cow. I took the Morton Street yarn out of it because it didn't seem to make any sense having the yarn in a bag when it wasn't being worked on. So that is that. Do I have anything else? I mean, I'm going from memory here. Oh, this piece of absolute joyousness is a giant ball, and this is, do you know, I don't care to stitch up stuff anymore. This ball is giant and it brings me so much joy. It's 6 strands of yarn, different colours, held together and wound into one big giant ball. No, Magnus, you are not sitting on the sofa. There is yarn on the sofa. Go away. And we are doing an initiative at work, the Warm and Woolly initiative, and we are making blankets. We're asking people to donate yarn they don't want or to make things. And we are making blankets for charity. We're going to be working with charities to give these to families in fuel poverty over the winter, because it's cold and electricity is expensive and the cost of living's gone up and the cost of fuel's gone up and life is just a bit miserable and the whole world frankly has gone to shit. I mean, I didn't think it could get much worse. We've lived through some serious stuff lately. I mean, our generation, my generation, I'm at 35, we've lived through quite a lot already. And then obviously we've got the world wars and things that people lived through before, and you've got to wonder at which point the world just sort of stands up and says, hang on, let's have some common sense here. The world is apparently lacking common sense. I am not lacking in yarn, so all the will to help people, so here we are. So I started, it's just treble crochet stripes back and forth, and the braid at the top of the chain just looked so beautiful, sorry, at the top of the trebles just looked so beautiful that I decided, because I'm a glutton for punishment, that I was going to work in the dropped loop on every other row so that you get this beautiful braid sitting proud across the blanket. I'm using a 12mm crochet hook. Can't remember now how many stitches I chained on. I will find out and write it down, but it is a decent size lap blanket. It will make a child very snuggly indeed. So that is also a great winter cast on. I am lusting after various other patterns. I've got a whole bag here of patterns from someone at Love Locally. I'll talk about that in the Yarn Dispensary podcast. I think that's all I've been working on at the moment. It's definitely not, they definitely aren't my only projects, but that's all I think I've actually been actively working on. I say all, quite a few. So yeah, let's go on to my friend's idea for what we should talk about. I've got some yarn and I don't know what to do with it. So here we are, let's start with this one. This was bought for me at Edinburgh Yarn Festival by my lovely friends as an early birthday present, and it was the first time I met them in real life, and my heart was just so full, and they are so generous and so kind, and it's beautiful. It's a Vicky Brown Designs yarn. It's called Hendrix, which I think is a blend of gin, and I'm here for it. It's been sitting in my stash just being pet because I don't know what to do with it. It is a sock yarn, but I don't know if I want to make it into socks. What do I do with it? It's one skein. There's a challenge for you. I think I'd prefer knit to crochet for this one. So that's the first one. Number 1, Vicky Brown Designs, Hendrix sock. Let me know below. Number 2 is a set of 3. Now I won these from Joanna Wood Paint. They're an artist's box. What are they? Kandinsky collection. They are beautiful, they are unique. These two kind of have similarities. That one's obviously completely different, and I'm not really sure what to do with them. I love them, they're beautiful, don't want to give them away. They also introduced me to Joey, who is absolutely lovely. What do I do with them? I've got 3. There's Superwash sock 4-ply, it's 400 meters per 100 grams, and it's 75% merino, 25% nylon. That's number 2, Joanne Wood paint. Number 3 is this beautiful, and it is just stunning, 100% bamboo from Third Volt Yarns. Initially I bought it with a view to doing some sort of design, but now I just want to make it into something that's beautiful. My brain is too full to design things right now, so I just want to know what I can do with this. I've got 2 skeins, they're different colours, 440 meters per 100 grams, because bamboo's clearly very light fibre. So silky and so beautiful. Oh, makes me want to dye plant yarn again, almost. So that's that one. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I've got 6 here. Right, okay, this one has been in my stash for a while. I've started collecting Juno Fibre Arts. She stopped dyeing a number of years ago, and I've been snapping up all the ones I can find because I just think it's so beautiful. This is called Loganberry. It's 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere, 400 meters, 3-ply sock weight. It's a one-off called Loganberry. And again, it's just been in my stash being petted. What can I do with that, please? Right, we'll do one more. We will do, let's see, are these the same? Now these are different yarns and different weights. Okay, all right, fair enough. So this is Alpaca DK, and that is Alpaca Intenso Aran weight. Okay, so I've got 2 skeins of Alpaca DK, and this is from Knit Crate. I was given it by a friend, and it's 60% a kind of alpaca I can't pronounce, I'm not going to try to, 40% Surrey alpaca, DK weight 211 meters. What can I make with that? Okay, so when you've sorted these ones out, we'll talk about the others, yeah? So there's quite a mix here. We've got a mix of fibres, we've got a mix of styles, we've got a mix of skeins. So we've got a 1 skein project, possibly a 3 skein project, possibly a 2 skein project, a couple of, yeah, so we've got a few there. Oh, there's the rest of the ball of baby smiles. It's tiny. I can't imagine getting another whole sock out of that, but apparently I will. So yeah, that's it really, folks. Nothing too much exciting to report. Going to be finishing dyeing the advent calendars this month, which is very exciting. Need to order the boxes for those and work out the final postage charges and let everyone know what those are. Yeah, I'm still happy that the diary's on hiatus. I do miss the dyeing. Obviously I'm going to get my fix with the advent calendars, but time is just not a thing at the moment. There's so much to do with work and home, and Robin is just, he is off. He's taking his first steps, not independently yet, but he's getting there. We got his first shoes at the weekend. He's going to be 1 in 3 weeks. And it's a huge winter at work as well. It's possibly the most important winter yet. And I'm already planned right up until next March. So it just feels like time is squishy. I've been trying to do the tips from my video, Making Time to Make Things. I'll put a link up here. You should check it out. It's quite good. And yeah, there's barely been space to breathe, let alone think, let alone do anything. Robin's been really poorly this week. He spiked a really high temperature 2 nights in a row, which is quite scary. And he's basically had a low-grade fever pretty much constantly for the last couple of days. This is day 3. His fever came down after about 2 o'clock this afternoon, and touch wood, it's still down. It's only been a few hours, but we'll see how it goes. So he's been off nursery, I've been off work looking after him, and yeah, it's just things. If you could see what I could see right now, there is a dog laying just at the bottom of the tripod looking away from me, as though, you know, not to make it obvious he's waiting for me. Then on Robin's toy box there is a cat, again looking away from me but looking very annoyed, ears are back. And on the window ledge there is another cat looking away from me, ears back. I think they want their dinner. And I think I can smell the chicken casserole that I put on this morning, which is smelling really good. The slow cooker, oh my gosh guys, the slow cooker, so worth it, so worth it. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. Should I do the MCAL with those yarns, or should I do something else, and what shall I do with this lot? Take care, bye. You weren't waiting for your dinner at all, were you? You were waiting for me to get up so you could have my seat. Poor puppy. That one was waiting for dinner though.